Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending where you're on the globe. My name is Michael Boyo, founder here at MB Consult. This is a platform where we endeavor to empower the next steps you choose to carry or to take in your career journey. We believe everybody's at a point in time where they are, and hopefully you want to be somewhere much better or somewhere more desirable. And that's one of the things we try to do here at MB Consult. This is my commitment to give back to the community, hosting sessions like this to discuss topical issues within the career landscape. And I'm hoping that it's going to be a valuable time. It's going to be informative, insightful, and we can all learn from each other. So I expect it to be an interactive and engaging session as we go along. And I want to appreciate everyone that has taken the time to join us today. You could be doing a million and one things with your weekend. So I'm going to just quickly post something in the chat, which is going to be basically our social media platforms. And I'm just hoping that you'll be able to join us or follow us. Let me ask, Ofonime, can you help me get that from the WhatsApp group and just post it in the chat here?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm on it already.
Thank you. Okay, so let's get started. Let me find my slide deck now. Need to find my slide deck. Okay, so today's topic, what are we talking about? Navigating job search challenges in a global socioeconomic downturn, with emphasis on North America. Now, when I was trying to come up with this topic, I had to challenge myself. Are we in a global socioeconomic downturn? Sorry. I don't know whether you would agree with me. So let me get response. Do you even agree with me on that? So let's just start with that. So let's assume that's a teaser. Do you agree with me when I say that we're actually experiencing a global socioeconomic downturn right now? Can I get responses? You can unmute yourself and speak.
Yeah, definitely I agree with you because globally people are complaining lack of jobs and there are a lot of changes. And it may even become worse considering the present situation between within the North America. So it may even become worse.
Thank you very much, Ofonime. Let me see if you're able to speak. I would really appreciate beyond the thumbs up, right? If you can, I don't know where you are, maybe you are not able to speak, but I just want us to talk here, right? And like I said, I'm just going to share my findings and hopefully it resonates with some of us and we can talk about it. And again, like I said, learn from each other. Okay, so let's go on, and with emphasis on North America, because I know most of us within the community are within North America. So so that's the title there. And we are looking for strategies for job seekers in these tough economic times. Just like Ofonime said, I also agree that even the political landscape is also I try to be apolitical, right? I'm non-partisan. I don't want to come and start saying I like this, I don't like that. No, this is not a political platform. But at the same time, we are living within this region, so we need to be interested in what is happening. Okay, so this is just a little bit about me for folks that may not know me. My background is in computer science and engineering from Obafemi Awolowo University in Ife, Nigeria. I have a master's in internet system development from the University of Portsmouth in the UK. I respectfully say that I've lived, schooled, and worked in 3 continents across the globe right now, in Africa, Europe, North America. I consider myself a multidisciplinary IT specialist with domain expertise within project management, business analysis, and quality assurance, all at enterprise level. And I also consider myself an AI enthusiast, which is something, I've been doing in recent times. I have over 2.5 decades of post-qualification cognitive work experience. My tech stack ranges, multiple technologies that I've had the rare privilege to work on. The list is there. In terms of certifications, again, I'm not going to read through, I don't want to bore you, but the list is there. So it's like as if I just feel like I have a lot to offer, and this is again my commitment to the community to come out here on a bi-weekly basis to see how I can, inform people. I'm also currently a co-founder and a managing partner at RYD Learning, which is an online edutech platform for coaching kids in tech between the ages of 7 and 16. And most recently, I decided to found MB Consult, which is this mentorship and coaching platform. So once again, I just want to thank you for coming. The agenda today is basically what I've outlined here. What's the global socioeconomic downturn, an overview, just a little bit of, okay, what are we talking about here? What is the impact on even seasoned professionals, right? Some of you may think that, oh, because I'm new to Canada, I don't have work experience. We're going to see how even the seasoned ones, people with work experience, how has it impacted them? Effective job strategies, reskilling, upskilling, career changes. And then when you are doing this, there's also the issue of health and well-being, right? Mental stability in the course of you looking for work. So let's just dive straight into it, right? Now, when we look at the global landscape, right, what do we see, right? Unemployment is not just in North America. It cuts across the globe. At least that's what we know, right? It cuts across the globe. It has severely affected everyone across the globe. So it's not just local to North America, neither is it local to Canada, neither is it local to your province, and neither is it local to the city where you live in. No, it's not. Unemployment right now is at an all-time high on a global scale. The US celebrated the month-to-month reports just recently. It was on the news that they are now at 4.1%, which is one of the best they've been within the last couple of years. I repeat, 4.1% in the US. And they're attributing it to the new administration. Again, like I said, I'm apolitical, right? So don't think that unemployment from your perspective is not necessarily just about you. It's a global phenomenon right now. Regional ripple effect. Different regions are experiencing it with various impacts, right? So from a global scale, the ripple effect is now becoming local, localized to where you are, regardless where that location is. So it's not really about you. It's about a global phenomenon. And that's one of the things I wanted to clear out here. Because a lot of people call me up and say, hey, Michael Boyo, I've been applying for work. Oh, I lost my job. Oh, my company, whatever that is. It's not about you. And I want to make that clear. There's a global phenomenon that is bigger than you, that is actually impacting every one of us. In terms of the future job market look, what does that look like? Again, this is we looking at things from a 10,000 feet level, right? So you need to understand the market trends. And you cannot say because you are living wherever you are living, that what is happening around the world does not impact on you. No, you cannot do that. You cannot live your life with the proverbial phenomenon of the ostrich putting his head in the sand and saying nobody will see me. No, you can't do that, right? You can't do that. That's career suicide, right? You just can't. Okay. What are key findings? And this was alarming even to me. Key findings. And this is where when I talk to people at times in terms of their job search, at times people feel like I'm being harsh. I was talking to one of you recently, and I said that somebody called me up a few months ago and talked about not getting calls based on their job applications and all of that. And I just said, by the way, can I ask you, how many job applications do you make in a week? Now, I don't want to bore you with the details. And if I ask you now, how many do you think the person will have answered me? Put a number in the chat. Let me even just see. Put a number in the chat. Let me see what you think. I said, how many applications do you make in a week? Put a number in the chat. What do you think the person responded? Okay, you said 5. Can I have more numbers in the chat, please? Very quickly, very quickly. Let's keep it coming. 10, okay. Weekly, right? 5, okay. Keep going. Can I get one more? 2 in a week. Wow. I don't care. Is that what you do? You do 2 in a week? Okay, thank you. Now, I don't care. I don't know whether to say fortunately or unfortunately, but you are correct. 2 in a week. And I said, are you freaking kidding me right now? I said, even me that is not looking for work, I do more than 2 in a week. So think about that for a minute, guys. You are looking for work and you are making 2 applications in a week. And I told the person, I said, except if the organization belongs to one of your parents or both of them, I don't see any way you're going to get work. It's not a curse. It's just a fact. It's not truth, but it's fact. So don't get me wrong. right? So it's not going to work. Now, what are the statistics? Studies indicate that roughly 30% of the global workforce is actively searching for work. 30% of the global workforce. That means everybody that has the ability to work. So we're not saying whether you have work, you don't have work. Combine all of us together. 30% are actively looking for work, while up to 70% remain passive. What do you mean by passive? Like that guy. That's what we are saying. A lot of us are passive in our job search. And you can't tell yourself that except you are self-accountable. You won't tell, but if you come to me and I ask you a few questions and you tell me what you're doing, I'll tell you exactly what I need to tell you. I'm not your friend. I'm a mentor. I'm a coach. I'm supposed to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. I'm sorry. If you don't like that, then I'm not doing my job, right? Now, about 80% of the passive group are open to opportunities. What that means is that, yes, oh, I want to. I hear people telling me, oh, I want to pivot. I want to do this. I want to apply for this. It's all I want to. What are you doing? I'm not asking what you want to do. What are you doing? That's the question. How many applications are you making every week, every day? People come to me and say, oh, I'm not getting interview calls. I say, yes, I understand. But how many applications are you making? How long does it take you to make an application? Somebody told me 4 days. I said something is fundamentally wrong. Oh, I need to tweak my resume. I don't care. If you give me a JD right now and you tell me to apply for a job, I kid you not, max 45 minutes, I'm done. As in max, I'm done. If you don't know how, then you need to book a mentor at MB Consult. We'll teach you how. So people say, oh, by the time I got to LinkedIn, over 100 people have applied. It's 4 days old. Why did you wait for 4 days? What kind of job alerts do you have on LinkedIn that you're waiting for a job that is 4 days old? My job alert on LinkedIn, one of the key criteria is 24 hours posted. I don't apply for any job that is older than 24 hours on LinkedIn. I don't. It's of no use to me. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about me. That's the bar I set for myself. Because you know what? I was here a few weeks ago and I showed you my LinkedIn premium profile. LinkedIn, if you don't have the premium profile, would only tell you over 100 people have applied. But if you have the premium subscription, you will see actually the number of people that have applied. There was a job I saw, which I've been seeing that job here in Edmonton. I don't want to mention the organization. That job has been circling on LinkedIn for almost 4 years. And when I looked at the number of people that have applied, it was over 1,000. Now, what's the point in you applying for that job? There's no point. There are reasons why that job is there, and I can tell you 4 or 5 reasons. But we don't have that time here and now. Those are things I discuss with you when you have a one-on-one session with me. So we need to understand what we are doing, right? Now, application friction. Multiple sources report that lengthy and cumbersome application process force many candidates to abandon their applications. So that is on you. I'm not going to tell you, oh, we need to make the application process simpler. That's not our call. You are not the employer. You are not LinkedIn. You are not company A, B, or C. You need to figure out what are the tips and tricks for you to be able to make a job application with minimal turnaround time. You need to figure that out. I have figured it out. But you need to figure it out. You can't be responding to a JD and it's taking you 4 days. Something is fundamentally wrong, like I said. Except if you're a doctor and you're applying for an engineering role, or you're a vet medicine and then you're applying for a lawyer role, then definitely it could even take you a week. Or should you even be doing that? The answer is no. In some studies, up to 60% of job seekers have dropped out due to overly complex forms and lack of feedback. Yeah, so complex form is you dropped out even before you applied. But because you're not getting feedback, whether negative or not at all, right? You could be getting negative feedback. We are sorry. Or you're not even getting anything at all. And then you abandon the job search. Again, that's on you. I'm sorry. You're not going to get me to say, oh, sorry, sorry, oh, and no, that's on you. You abandoned it. There's nothing, what you cannot control, you cannot control. What you can, please control it. And I tell everyone that talks to me, the only piece of this whole interview funnel that you have control about is the job application itself. That's the only piece you have control. So if you're not even taking control of that, then there's no need to even say anything. It's like saying dead on arrival. Yes, I know it's hard. Michael Boyo, I do 100 applications a week. Yes, I know. But when you don't do it, are you expecting a different result? Right? It's not about me. It's about resilience, which we'll talk about as we go on. AI and ghost jobs. Now, this is not on you. With the advent of AI, in fact, people are now challenging LinkedIn on the validity of the jobs that are being posted on LinkedIn. People are actually petitioning LinkedIn right now. Because you know what is happening now? People, not organizations, people are posting ghost jobs on LinkedIn just to elicit resumes. I don't know, for whatever reason. And people are now challenging LinkedIn on the validity. As of last count, LinkedIn has over 1 million subscribers. Think about that for a minute. Over 1 million accounts on LinkedIn. So when you are posting a job on LinkedIn, there's a possibility that 1 million people are going to see it. But the question then is that job valid? Up until now, nobody knows. There are trends, there are patterns for you to know that a job is not valid, especially when they start asking for some form of incentive from you to get the job. Then you know that this job is not valid, right? Now, if you want to ask questions, please just raise up your hand and, and then we can take your question or comment or feedback. There's no like Q&A at the end of it, right? So I want it to be interactive. Feel free, just, call my attention. Hey, Mike, let's talk about this. And I'm also willing to, listen and learn from us. Okay, let's keep going. Comparison with previous downturns. Why is this one different? Understanding the different causes of the past economic downturn has provided us with insights into the current one. Just give me a minute. And to help job seekers navigate it effectively. Just give me a minute, so I'll get to you. Now, responses to downturns. Again, we are comparing in the past to present. Analyzing how government and businesses responded to previous downturn can inform better strategies for recovery in this current economic climate. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a graph to show you here, but what we are saying here is that, can we look into the past? We all remember the Great Recession of 2008. I came into Canada 2016. When I came into Canada 2016, there was also some form of recession. And I started asking the question, is this going to be happening on every 8-year cycle? And I don't think I'm far from being right. Because again, last year is 2024, when it looked like there was no job anywhere. And that is trickling into 2025 right now. I may not have any facts and figures to back that up. But I feel like every 8 years, at least within North America, there's going to be a form of downturn. Please go ahead.
Yeah, concerning the last slide, I had experience within this week that I've not passed across before. I actually applied for a job. Normally you receive an email acknowledging that they have received the application.
Yep.
But for the first time, they immediately applied. It wasn't up to 5 minutes. I got an email that I'm not the right fit. It was just so fast. I was like, is it an AI that just analyzed my resume immediately, and just because there was no kind of first acknowledgement of that they have received my application, it's just a rejection direct. So I'm talking in terms of the last slide that that has to do with AI.
With AI and ghost jobs, yes. No, thank you for that. Yeah. And that's why we all need to be very, very strategic, even in applying for jobs. I'm very picky, even when, yes, I mean, again, we're all at different levels in our career, right? But I can quickly look at a job on LinkedIn. I just tell myself, no, there's no point, right? When a job is reposted and it said, It was originally posted 5 days ago, and now they are reposting it. So I'm asking the person, why are they reposting it? Is it like they're fed up with the applications that they have received so far and they are reposting it? And I can tell you that because I've been on both sides of HR, both on the applicant side and on the employer side. I've been on both sides. More often than not, it could be as a result of laziness on HR. They will just feel like, okay, you know what, let's just reset. And they will just say, okay, you know what, we're just going to repost that job. So everybody has applied before. If you are really interested, go and apply again. Because there was nobody on hand to actually analyze those previous job applications. And then when a job has like been on the internet for a while and it's not closing, or it doesn't have a closing date, that could also be as a result of the fact that the recruiter in the organization has not closed the job when they applied for it on LinkedIn. So it can just be human error. They didn't close the job. They've already hired somebody into the position, and here you are still applying. And that's why I keep on saying that I rarely would apply for any LinkedIn job that has been posted for more than 24 hours. Again, that is me. Yes, Chinwe, please go ahead.
Okay, so I just wanted to find out, do we have a way of knowing those ghost jobs so that when we're applying, like the maybe the criteria we have to check out while we are searching for jobs to know that, okay, yeah, maybe this is a ghost job and this is what actually what we need to apply for?
Unfortunately, you wouldn't know, unfortunately. Again, I don't know whether somebody else can chime in, but unfortunately, there's no clear cut. I would say, number one, if the domain name of the email address of any contact person on that job is not a non-free domain, like if it's something like gmail.com, yahoo.com, that's a big no-no. And also check Google that organization and check whether you can find their online presence anywhere else. Do they have a website? Is the website just a static 5-pager of about us, contact us, our this, whatever? No, that's not good enough, right? So do your due diligence, right? Because LinkedIn is just a platform. LinkedIn does not verify the organization's validity, and they've never said so. So even you, as you are right now, you can create a LinkedIn page and go and post a job, and everybody will start applying. I kid you not. Go and post a job right now. Go on your LinkedIn profile, create a LinkedIn business page, which you can for free, and then post a job. The first job you post is for free. Post a job, BA. I kid you not. 100 people will apply within the next 3 to 4 hours. Does it mean the job exists? No. But there's no way LinkedIn is going to do that. You are the one that should do your due diligence, right? I hope that helps, Chinwe.
Yes, thank you.
Recovery patterns. Examining the recovery patterns from past downturns can help job seekers understand potential job market trends and opportunities moving forward. So how long did the last downturn, how long did we experience it? How did we get out of it? How long did it take us to get out of it? We can only use that to speculate the future. When I look around us, Salesforce, the tech giant, laid off 1,000 people early this year because they want to, push on their AI frontiers. They would rather hire people with AI knowledge and expertise than those that don't. A lot of tech giants are laying off. You can't say you don't know. If you don't know, well, too bad, right? And a number of them are still going to be laying off. Does it mean there are no jobs? No, that's not what it means. It just means that the ratio of job applicants to jobs available is on the increase. That's the challenge upon every one of us on this call, right? Now, impact on seasoned professionals. Now, you're a seasoned professional. You are in a particular domain. Now, first of all, I realize that most of us come to North America or come to the West in general. And then we now realize that, our job, our expertise or our skills that we have from back home are necessarily there's no direct mapping to the kind of jobs we have here. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with the skills you have. You just need to do what? To figure out how you are going to remap those skills. So you're a professional in your own rights, right? But this impact, it impacts you as well. Because you now start asking yourself, you have skills gap. So a lot of us are applying for jobs that, truth be told, we don't even have the skills to do the job. Again, don't forget, I'm a mentor, I'm a coach, I'm not your friend. Should I be friendly? Yes, absolutely. But I'm not your friend. Right? Some of us are applying for jobs that we don't have the skills to back it up. And so when even the HR recruiter is asking you basic questions, you're not even able to answer. And then in your own defense, when you're doing your own reflection, it will now be like, why was she asking me that question? And I'm like, was it not mentioned on the JD? I tell people, if you go to an interview and they ask you a question that accurately reflects the content of the JD, and your response is, I don't know, shame on you. Because it was on the JD. Now, does it mean you should have 100% knowledge and expertise on every line item, every keyword in your JD? No. I tell people baseline is not 80%. The 80-20 principle, Pareto principle. But what do you do with the 20% that you don't know? Between when you applied for the job and when you go for the interview, you need to seek theoretical knowledge of that 20%. You don't need to have expert knowledge. If they say, have you used Tableau? And you say no. No is no. There's no but. You can say, I've not used Tableau. However, I've used Power BI. Now, even if you've never used Tableau, if you go on YouTube and go and watch a video overview of Tableau or intro to Tableau, and you're able to at least speak to it. Oh, yeah, I've not used it extensively, but I have exposure to Tableau. Some of you say you don't want to lie. I'm not lying because I watched the YouTube video. I have exposure to Tableau. I know it's a data visualization tool to be able to relate data, to people that are not necessarily, technical, so that they can take informed decisions. Have I used Tableau? I know no. But do I know about Tableau? Absolutely yes. You can't go into that interview, you know nothing about Tableau, and there's Tableau on the JD, and you just expect God to intervene. I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. Skill gaps is one of the major challenges that is being identified, and it is your responsibility to address skill gap. Even me, with over 2.5 decades of cognitive work experience, I still do a recurrent skill gap to ask myself the question, what skills do I need to get the job I'm looking for? Most of us don't ask ourselves that question. The only thing we tell ourselves is, I want a BA job. I want a QA job. I want a PM job. I want this job. But the question I will ask you, do you have the requisite skills? Let's even say by a stroke of luck, you get the job. Can you do the job? Right? So, but that's on you. Adaptability and learning. A lot of us, I see resumes. I've seen more than dozens of resumes. I'm a lifelong learner. And I ask the question, what new thing did you learn last week? So let me open the floor. What new thing did you learn last week? Can I have someone who wants to respond? Because I'm sure all of us, if I say, are you a lifelong learner? Everybody will say yes, right? So I'm assuming that on your behalf. So I'm asking now, what new thing did you learn last week? Can somebody unmute and tell me? I hope you all know nobody has unmuted, right? That's what we are saying. Your response is as good as mine. Right? So those are the issues. And that's on us, on you, on me, yes. And many times we don't have to pay to learn something new. We don't. You can learn new things, new skills, new tools, new domains for free on the internet. And with ChatGPT, you have no excuse that you can't learn something new. No excuse whatsoever, right? Now, what are things that are, specific to North America? And this is not on my slide. North America is currently experiencing low, so this is a bit of a oxymoron, right? Like I said, North America, and in this case, mostly the US. Unemployment is not very high, but there's high competition. And do you know why there's high competition? Can anybody give me an idea? Why do you think within the last, I would say 1 year, there's been very high competition for jobs? Does anyone want to tell us why they think that is the case? Yes, please. You're on mute, Adironke.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was going to say that what I have seen is that it's as if everybody is learning the same thing, and so it's like everybody's just attaining same height. So you need to set yourself out from the pack. But I think everybody's learning the same thing. So there are lots of fishes in the ocean with similar.
But when you say the same thing, though, can you elaborate on that? Like,
yeah, I would say that, let's take, for instance, let's say you are in healthcare space, or let's say you've chosen a Salesforce space. It's as if everybody has learned admin, everybody has even capped it up to Service Cloud, Sales Cloud. Like, it's as if the credentials are getting to be the same, like at par. Everybody is a solutions architect. You're competing almost with the same set of
people with the same set of skills.
Yeah, somewhat. And now the driver, or the factor that will distinguish you is just, you need to do one more thing, one more feather on your cap to be the chosen prince. I don't know if but that's what I'm finding. I may be wrong.
No, I agree with you. So what you're saying is that it's like we're all at the same skills level. Nothing stands you out from the pack.
If you're not careful, yes.
Yeah, if you're not careful. Okay, anyone else? And thank you so much for that. Yeah, Chinwe.
So you just reiterate to second what Ade just said, right? Because I know previously, like when we are new in Canada, so people were coming in the mindset of, okay, RN, nurses, like going to health industries. But looks like right now, I would just say like IT, especially BAs and QAs, like is kind of saturated, because, a lot of immigration, and people are coming with the mindset of, I can learn BA. Is it not just like 2 weeks, 6 weeks of training, and I will get going. So I think I agree with what she said.
Absolutely, I agree with you as well. Okay, and thank you, Daniel.
Yeah, I will say transitioning. People are looking for something better, something new. They just want to be there. People just want to get, when you hear that, oh, BA is selling now, everybody runs to BA. You see, people just want to be seen up there. They just want to be the number one chosen one that should be taken. So they want to beef up whatever knowledge they know about in certain things, even if they don't know it very well, just to be up there. So that's what I would just say. Thank you.
No, thank you very much, Daniel. So what you are saying is that people are just following the crowd. But,
I'll say that.
Yeah. Now, I will try not to be harsh on people, in the sense that, again, the assumption here is that you've not been in tech. You've worked, close to a decade from wherever you are coming from. For you to have migrated to Canada as a skilled migrant, I'm sure that at the bare minimum, you have a bachelor's degree. Most likely you have a master's degree. So you are well read, you are learned. But the question then is, are you skilled in the American standard context or North American standard context? And then you now realize that, oh, whatever you know, there's, again, like I said, it's not irrelevant. I just say that there's no direct mapping. to the skills required for the jobs that are available here in North America. And then you now ask yourself the question, I want to transition or I want to pivot, right? Which is what most of us do. And there's nothing wrong with that. But in doing that, you are just going to join the 1,000,001 fishes in the same ocean, right? That's what we are saying, which is actually the fact. Now, I'm sorry, I don't also have that magic wand to just say, oh, how do you go and swim in the blue ocean, like they say, right? Where you'll be in a category of one. But that's where reskilling, upskilling needs to be a continuum for you. And if you permit me to give you this free advice of what I do, like I said, if I ask you what kind of role are you looking for, everybody will give me an answer. Everybody knows that. That's not a question you tell me I don't know. No. And then I now ask the question, do you have the skills to do that role? Whatever you answer me, I will check in with you again and I'll be able to determine whether you do or not. But how do you think I do it? I go on job boards, LinkedIn, Glassdoor, Indeed, whatever. And I look at those jobs every now and then. And I look at the JD. And I'm like, can I check 95% of the skills required to do that job on the JD? And what do? I identify the skill gap. Once that's identified, what do? I make a plan to close the skill gap. I don't just run away from the JD. Because you know what? You keep on telling yourself, oh, I'm looking for that job. But you're not doing what it takes to get that job. Right? So we need to put our reskilling and upskilling, which is something we'll talk about here very soon, on the front burner, right? Overqualification concerns. Don't forget, we're talking about seasoned professionals here. Just give me a minute. Now, overqualification can create resistance among employers. So what's happening right now? Somebody talked about, or was it me, when I talked about what's in the labor market right now? And let me give you a little bit of an analysis. So within the last 6 months, at least, there have been a lot of layoffs. So let's focus, begin to deep dive on North America. There's been a lot of layoffs, right? People are being laid off, literally. And these are people that were working. So that means they're experienced. They know their onions. They were not applying. They were not looking for work. They were actually working. That's one pool. There are a lot of people that the company just folded up for whatever reason. Either there's bankruptcy or they closed shop because the mother company could not keep them open. Case in point is a number of American-owned organizations or companies that had a shop in Canada, they closed the Canadian shop. Again, it could be based on the stance of the political landscape. But again, I'm apolitical, so right. But they closed shop, and what does that mean? Hundreds, thousands of people back in the market, experienced people, right? And then there's also the other one that, for whatever reason, you just feel like, oh, I want to jump ship. And the proverbial look before you leap, right? Some of us just jump without knowing where you're going to land. So by the time you combine all these three, you now realize that we're not just looking at folks that just arrived in Canada or people with 1-2 years work experience that you are telling me, oh, Michael Boyo, I've been applying, I've been doing everything, blah, blah, blah. Nobody's calling me. And in my head, I'm asking the question. So there is John, who is just 18 months in the labor market or with experience, right? And then there is Jane, who has 10 years cognitive work experience in that same domain. And John and Jane are applying for the same role. So John is underqualified, Jane is overqualified. You see the problem? And they're all in the same pool. They're not doing anything wrong, but it's just the statistics that we have. These are facts on ground. And I have people that I know personally in those 3 different categories. Laid off, literally because the shop closed down. Laid off because they said the service is no longer required. Right? Or the company just folded up. There is nothing wrong with you. But that's the climate we find ourselves. Olu, please go ahead.
Right, thank you. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
I would like you to address the school of thought that I want to apply for a job that I do not necessarily qualify for. And this is what I mean. Let's take, for example, I work as a technical solution analyst right now. That is what I do. As far as I'm concerned, I'm comfortable in that role, right? And then I see a job position for an application for a solution architect, for example. I believe they are all like in the same path. Now, the reason I'm asking this question is concerns of growth and, getting a bit more exposure in your line of career, right? So how do you I don't want to apply for a technical solution analyst role anymore. I want to do more. And I see that, well, a solution architect role, I haven't done it before. However, I have the skills at least, but then I cannot do everything. Does it now mean I shouldn't apply for that role? So this is from the point of growth now. Like, okay, this is where I am. However, I wanna grow in my career, and this role is what will take me to the next step. I've not done it before. Will an employer really say that they want to employ me, given my technical solution analyst name, apart from the description, right? I'm just trying to understand the growth aspect of this career thing, and I
So
want you to shed more light on it.
no, thank you very much, Olu. So first and foremost, I don't know, is anyone on the call that may want to take a stab at that to respond to Olu? Okay. All right. So Olu, yeah, sorry, who's that?
Yeah, and if I can chime in.
Yes,
So
please.
I personally have not issues, but concerns with titles that employers put for some roles. At times the titles look bogus, but when you look at the JD, it mirrors exactly at times what another title does. Why am I saying that? If that is the case, and part of the JD still gives you room for growth or to learn something beyond what you're currently doing, then I will apply. Even if the title is so bogus and it sounds like you are the creator of the universe, I will still apply. Because again, you want to leave your comfort zone and you want to challenge yourself. It is only when the JD is almost like 70% unfamiliar, then I will recommend, okay, look at something that you can adapt your existing skills to and still learn. I don't know if that helps.
I agree with you, especially the very early part of what you said with regards to job titles. So very quickly, job titles should be used for job search. So let's say you're a BA. You can't just put your job search that you're looking for a business analyst. That's not enough. You'll be missing out on a much more broader job roles, right? So it would come as a continuous improvement analyst, process improvement analyst. It could come as a policy analyst. It could come as data analysts, business intelligence analysts. You have to put everything there. The key word should actually be analyst, not business analyst. Now, so that's where job title stops. Now, before you apply for any role, is the JD itself that you need to consider. I don't care what the job title is. Adapt. So I'm done with the job title. The next thing now is the JD, right? Because I need the job title to be as open and expanded enough for me to be able to get every fish into the net. And then you now start looking at the JD. And to answer your question, Olu, so I agree with you. Yes, you want to challenge yourself to the next level. Again, my opinion is apply the Pareto principle, 80-20. There's no business in you applying for a JD that you can't comfortably even speak to 50% of what's in the JD. There's nothing like, yes, there's also the principle of faking it till you make it, but you need to be able to fake it properly, right? So if you can't even fake it well, how are you going to make it in the first place? So that's why I always err on the 80-20 principle. And then there's now the responsibility. Don't go and say, Michael Boyo, say if I can check 80%. No. Between when you applied and when you have the job interview, you need to figure out how you are going to gain a theoretical knowledge of the 20%. I'm not saying just leave it out there. You have to. And that's why I say if somebody should ask you a question in an interview and your honest response is, I don't know, you had no business in that interview in the first place. As if that's your response. You can say any other thing you want to say. But if your response is, oh, by the way, I don't know. And I've said how we can do that. Now, to now answer your question further, to now say that, oh, should I actually apply? So let's say you've passed job title, JD, 80-20 principle, and you now apply. Now, you are focusing on that 20%. You've done your due diligence. Should you still apply? Absolutely, yes. But the question now, which is what we're experiencing, so we're talking about the challenges, right? There are 1,000,001 people that have 100% of that knowledge that's also applying for that job. That's not on you anymore, but you need to know, right? And that's what we are talking about right now. 4 or 5 years ago, you could apply for a Salesforce administrator role even without having the Salesforce administrator certification. And you can agree with me on that. As in, for the mere fact that you tell somebody, oh, you attended a Salesforce boot camp, is more than enough for anybody to hire you. But today, without having minimum 3 Salesforce certifications, you have no business applying for a Salesforce role, even as a Salesforce BA. The landscape is changing, and you don't have control over that. What do you have to do? You have to adapt. And that's what we're talking about here. So if you have a job right now, what I'm encouraging is like what I think you are doing. You are applying to roles, but while you're on the job, you better be reskilling and upskilling on your own time. I've been an independent consultant for about 8-9 years in Canada. So there's no organization paying for my personal training and development. That's all on me. So I better be the one doing my own due diligence on that, because no employer is sending me on any training, and that's okay. So, and I'm challenging you as well that while you're on that job and you are looking for that job you are looking for, you have the responsibility to be reskilling and upskilling in a bit to be able to be a good fit for that job. If not with direct expertise that you've done it, because you may not be doing that skill on your job right now, which is okay. But you need to, in some shape or form, be doing something in that semblance in any way. And that's a whole separate conversation that we cannot have here right now. Because unfortunately, there are 1,000,001 people that have that skill to a T that are also applying. And the employer is not one of your parents. So they're going to go with who they believe is the best fit for them. Now, let me chime this in. Because one of the things I said I was going to do here today is that I want people to understand that you may be actually doing everything right. So everything I've been saying from the beginning up until now, you might actually be doing everything. And you are still not getting calls. Or you go for interviews, they tell you, oh, we are sorry, we found a better fit. There are reasons, there are more than 1, 2, 3 reasons for that. Right? And if I want to say 1 or 2, one could be that there's already an internal candidate that was poised for that role. And so doing the job posting on any job board was mere formality to check the box. So there was no interest to hire anybody in the first place. So there's nothing wrong with it. But you wouldn't know that, would you? Then in other case, there could be a named candidate for that role. As in, the hiring manager has somebody somewhere that role was tailor-made for. And I can give you an example. When I see a JD and they say mandatory requirements, must have worked on Microsoft CRM consultant and Microsoft Dynamics 365, 3 implementations, or has Microsoft Dynamics 365 multiple certifications, or has been on Microsoft 365 implementation within the last 3 years. I'm like, that's what we call tailor-made. There's a named candidate. Or if you are looking for example, government, and they say knowledge of an application that nobody else uses except them. So where are they going to find that person if you're not already working there? So those are tips that once I start, I don't read past that line, because it's a waste of my time in the first place, right? So those are just a few. We can talk about much more than, by the time you come book my time, and then we look at your specific situation. But those are just things that will quickly let you know. Once you start seeing very specific requirements, there's a named candidate. Nobody's going to tell you. Like I said, I've literally received applications for a job that I was the named candidate, and I was the one receiving the job application in an organization. Think about that for a minute. So that's not on you, but you want to be strategic in your job search. Let's keep going. Okay, marketing skills effectively. So I've talked about this. So job seekers need to tailor their resumes, highlight relevance. So this is things that, if you don't know how, these are the kind of things we can help you with at MB Consult. Addressing concerns of overqualification, right, during interview. You can address those as well, because naturally, not in your own case only, what is now happening is that these overqualified professionals, because people now realize, oh, I'm not getting a job at my level. Okay, let me apply for a job lower than my level. But when you are doing that, make sure that your resume is also lower than your level. Don't use that same resume of 15 years work experience to be applying for a job that requires 5 years work experience. It doesn't sync, right? You need to, again, adapt your resume. And I keep telling everybody, you don't need to have an emotional attachment with your resume. Your resume is a tool that is expected to engender a call for interview. That's all. There's no emotional attachment. Oh, I like this resume. I don't care. Does the resume fit the JD? The JD is God. You need to bend to the JD, not the other way around. I see people telling me, oh, I can do the job. Let me see the JD. Let me see your resume. I look for a keyword in the JD. I do a control find in your resume. That keyword is not there. I'm sorry. That's not a good resume. That's not a resume that is fit for purpose. It's not about you. It's about best practice. Right? Okay. Now, closely related to, challenges, concerns, that there's intense competition due to tight labor markets. We also are experiencing extended interview and screening processes that often lack personalized feedback. And then AI is the big outlier right now, both on the applicant side and on the employer side. Both sides are using AI, right? The applicant is using AI to just get resume ready, like you book an order in McDonald's. 30 seconds, your order is ready. The employer is also using AI to craft JDs that does not make sense, right? Because the hiring manager, who is technical and should know better, is telling the HR generalist in HR to go do a JD. What does the HR generalist do? Oh, I know how to use ChatGPT. And then goes to ChatGPT, brings out a JD. The hiring manager does not review it. It's posted on LinkedIn. And then when it's posted on LinkedIn, what Aderonke said makes sense. There's a job title. You look at the JD, you're like, what's happening here? Exactly. Exactly. I agree with that completely. And then people will come and tell me, why are they looking for a 4-man job for a 1 person? Again, who wrote the JD? But fortunately, you can't challenge the JD, because that's the only thing you have to go with, right? And that's why many a times you can decide to take a stab at it. But at least for your own sake, I've had instances, I've been in job interviews that half of what was on the JD did not even come up in the conversation. So that's why I'm never going to tell you don't go for a job interview. You will never hear me say that. But what I'm saying is that you can't go for a job interview and say that you are naive about the JD. No, you can't do that. Because that's on you. If you get there and you realize you were over-prepared, fantastic. But if you were under-prepared, that's on you, right? It's not on anyone else. Okay, let's keep it going. Effective job search strategies. networking and leveraging professional connections. I know we've all talked about networking even to a fault, but we all need to continue networking on LinkedIn. Do you know what I do? I personally, apart from MB Consult, I'm personally trying to get myself into people's feeds, because I just don't want people to, especially right now, I can tell you, my personal LinkedIn profile is more active than MB Consult. So I'm driving my traffic to MB Consult traffic. So which means that I better be out there, you know, leveraging those networks. Now, so I'm doing that deliberately, joining groups that align with my professional persona. When last did you even attempt to join a group, and not just join the group, but to be an active participant? And I can tell you again, listen, AI is great. I use it to my advantage. Please do. I'm able to respond to LinkedIn posts with very minimal labor. Minimal labor. Can't start talking about that here. You need to get to a point where you can actually, I don't want to say social media, your professional persona online. So let's just limit to LinkedIn. You need to be as visible as you need to be on LinkedIn. I'm not going to tell you do this, don't do that. It's personal. But for your professional career, say for example, you are targeting to work in a particular organization for a particular role, whatever. That organization has a LinkedIn page. If you go in, you see the people that work there. Most likely, there could be a mutual connection between you and somebody. Write that person an intro note and say, hey, by the way, my name is Michael. You know, blah, blah, blah. I see that, oh, we are mutual friends of XYZ. You know, I'm just wanting to connect with you just in case, you know, in the nearest future, I might be applying for a job. Do whatever you need to do. There's hardly a role that I apply for in an organization that I don't know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody in the organization. Is part of my due diligence. Right? And that's why you need to establish connections with people. When you want to establish connection with people in LinkedIn, there are at least two criteria. One is, do you have a mutual connection? That's one. Then LinkedIn can also refer you to somebody that is based on your profile. So if you are into QA, LinkedIn would be giving you suggestions to connect with other people in QA. And the same thing for BA, the same for project. Connect with people. So that by the time you now have a job, you now just realize that you now go and search. I want to search for people in this job. LinkedIn can also tell you, do you have first connections with people in this organization? And when I do that, I'm hoping and praying I will find somebody. And most of the time, I do find. And the person could not even be a Nigerian. And I'm like, hey, bro, what's up? I'm applying for a role at your organization. Can you please help? Can I, you know, can we chat? Whatever, whatever. It helps. It's called insider. You have an insider. Like, may not work all the time, but have you even tried? Right? I'm not going to belabor that. Building connections. Again, what I've said, leveraging relationships. Job referrals is now the new currency. And that's why you need that insider connection. Job referrals is now the new currency. That job you are applying for on LinkedIn, somebody got the job because he or she was referred. It's not because you weren't good enough. So I'm not giving you a knock on the head. It's not because you weren't good enough. But at the end of the day, there were 2-3 final candidates. And you know how referral is here in the West. That somebody can put in a good word for you weighs much more in weight. Because what it means is that there is trust. It's not about expertise at that level. Because expertise is a given. And if you don't know and you can learn, they can bring you up to speed. But if they can't even work with you, you're not even going to get a shot in the first place. Can anyone relate with this and say something? So that maybe I'm not just speaking truth. Hello.
Okay. Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just to add to what you've said concerning networking. You know, this February was Black History Month, right?
Yep.
Now, there was this event that took place. I was reluctant to go, really reluctant to go. But somehow I went. And when I got there, I met some few black guys there. While we were talking, some white guys came in. I was taken aback that this is black people. What's this guy doing? Apparently, they came in with a VP who is a black person, right?
Yeah.
To my amazement, they were on Salesforce arrangement, the three of them. So he walked up to me and said, I'm so person, I'm Ryan, and so. When he mentioned Salesforce, man, my ears open. I just blew. Started talking to him. The next thing he just said is, you know what? There is this opening here, there is this opening there. You know what? Just give me a call, just do this. Yesterday, I just connected with him yesterday. Before I knew it, he has referred me to two people who need a Salesforce. So, just like that in terms of talking about networking. So I now started and said, this networking thing that they say is currency is truly a currency. They don't need to even know who they are. Once they just say, tell them you are from Ryan. Once you drop that name, the magic will happen. So I am now seeing that, for this past 1 year, that they have been inviting me for events that I've been turning down. Maybe I would have even gone further than where I am. So I'm just reiterating the fact that networking is just a currency that you need today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you. Okay, let's keep going. So we've talked about this, optimizing your resume, right? Your LinkedIn profile, tailoring your resume. The principle of one cap fits all does not apply to resume. Again, if you need help in this area, book a mentor at MB Consult, will work with you. Attracting opportunities. Again, your resume is the window to those opportunities, right? Your resume needs to be on point. You need to have what I call a baseline resume. Again, we can work with you on that, regardless where you are coming from, regardless whatever industry we are coming from. We only need to make your resume adaptable to where you want to be. And that's something that is doable, right? So I'm not going to talk too much. Now, utilizing job boards. When I tell people, okay, which job boards do you have your resume on? And that you have job alerts set up. And then the next people ask that they ask me is that, I only use LinkedIn. And you're in North America. You only use LinkedIn. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Even me, I don't really use LinkedIn. You should have at least be able to be using 3 to 5 job boards concurrently and have resumes good to go on each of those job boards. Like I said, if you have your resumes uploaded online on those job boards and they are indeed true baseline resumes, like one for PA, one for QA, one for PM, one for business intelligence, one for data, whatever is. Once you have that baseline resume, there will be certain roles that your baseline resume should have checked at least 80%, because that's the condition I set for a baseline resume. A baseline resume is not a fit for purpose resume, so don't get me wrong. A baseline resume is the baseline resume for a BA role. Then when you now have a BA JD, you pick it up, your baseline resume should fit at least 80% of that JD. Then you take care of the remaining 20%. Again, the Pareto principle. But there are roles that you just say, you know what, I don't care. I'm outside, out and about. You go in, you see a job, apply. Send your baseline resume. And that's what I'm saying. It should be taking people 4 days to apply for a job. If you want more details on how to get to that point, again, you can book a mentor at MB Consult. Networking platforms, like what we're talking about right now. Resume, cover letter. Right? There are times that they will say cover letter is optional. Don't make it optional. Send a cover letter. Send a wicked cover letter that will exemplify you, that it will be their loss if they don't call you for interview. And again, there are ways to go about that. Job alerts and notifications, like I said, right? Some people don't even have job. Do you know the amount of job alerts that come into my phone every day? And then you choose. And that's why I say, if something is more than 24 hours, except if I realize that, I think I really like this job, that's when I apply, because it's gone. It's gone. Job posting come up on LinkedIn in a couple of hours. Over 100 people have applied. And you want to go and join that queue. Again, I'm not saying don't apply. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying you need to be in that first 100. Reskilling, upskilling. I talked about that before now. You need to identify high demand skills. And where do you get that from? From the JDs. If you know the job you are looking for, go and look for the JD of that job. They do a skills gap analysis. Not just once, do it every quarter. Then you know the skills that are really. So understanding skills such as data analysis, digital marketing are currently sought after. Those are just what we call complementary skills, right? Valuable certifications. Now, certifications is not the key. Knowledge and expertise is the key. Certification is just to show that's a third party evidence that you know what you are saying you know. But the first thing is, do you know it? So I don't have anything wrong with certification, but just accumulating certifications is not enough. Certifications may get you in the door, but it can't keep you inside the room. If you don't know it and they figure that out that you don't know it, they will fire you. God forbid that they don't fire you on this call, but there's in the proverb you, right? You don't want to be in that boat, right? Employer insight. Stay informed. What are employers doing? Again, on LinkedIn, be strategic. We've had people that say they literally like stall employees or senior management people in the organization that they want to apply for. Try to extend connection requests very politely, very subtly, be visible. And then when there's something, you can just connect to that person. Oh, I saw a role in the organization. Are you able to refer me? More often than not, people are usually friendly. If nobody responds, that's okay. I mean, right? But if somebody responds, then why not? Now, training is something that I'm very, very, very passionate about. But I always tell people, please explore free trainings before you invest in paid training. And I say this with a very high sense of responsibility, that there are so many training platforms out there that are not worth their salt. And that's where, again, mentorship and coaching comes in. If you come to me and you say, I want to go and do a training somewhere, this, I can do that due diligence for you. And I will tell you point blank, don't go and do that training. It's not worth it. But a lot of us jump into that. We make those mistakes because we don't talk to anyone. And then you do a training, 1 year after the training, even you yourself, you know that the ROI is zero. Don't ask me, how would you know? If you had spoken to me in a session that we're talking together, me, I'm your mentor, you are your mentee, I would have advised you otherwise. There's rarely a training I go for that I would try everything I can to look for somebody that has done that training before. That is due diligence. Because everybody would only speak to the good that they have to offer. I can only speak to the good, but I trust myself. I don't trust you. Talking about that trainer now, right? So please, and like I said, explore, choosing the right training programs. Explore, navigate, educate. Most of us are lazy, right? And I get it. A training platform will give a structured approach to learning. I get it. That's really what they are selling. That's what training is selling. It's not that you can't get that knowledge for free online, especially now with AI. Tell me what you can get online. Even up to servers. If you want to set up a Windows 2023 server, you want to set up a Microsoft Dynamics server, you want to connect to a terminal, an SAP terminal, what, you will most likely get something for free online. It may not give you everything you need because, again, nothing is truly free. But most of us are lazy, right? So you just go and pay for training. They're teaching you. You are not even learning. You are working. You don't have time to do assignment. And then you finish the training. You are now saying you are now looking. So because you did the training, now you are skilled, right? It doesn't work that way. The people that gave you the training, they've collected their money, they have moved on. Again, I don't have anything wrong with training platforms. And that's why I can tell you I'm very skeptical about setting up a training platform. Because I don't want someone to come and say, oh, you train me, I don't have work. No. That I train you doesn't mean you should have work. No, I trained you to give you skill. That's the core. It's we that just think, oh, because I went to training, I should have work. No, I will tell you the truth. No. They are not employment services. It's a training platform, right? Now, as we start wrapping this up, one thing that is happening is that as we all continue to look for work, it's affecting our mental and well-being. And that is a fact. And I want to be able to relate with people, right? People have gone to the extent whereby they don't even apply for jobs anymore because they are fed up with, I'm sorry, you considered your application, but we have moved on with the candidate that is a better for the role. I get it. And that's why I tell people that even while you are interviewing for a role, you should still continue to apply for jobs. But I see that most people find it difficult to do both. And I don't blame them. But this is the reason why I say so. When you put all that your eggs in that one basket of that interview process, so that interview process will take about 1 month from first stage, second stage, whatever, and you're expecting or you're sending an email, when will they contact me? It's like you're on a mental block. You can't even apply for another job and you don't. Then what happens? When they now tell you at the end of the day that, oh, you're not considered, it becomes a big blow. And that's one problem I tell you. I said, except if the organization is owned by one of your parents, there's no guarantee you'll be hired. So what do? It's a business transaction, not an emotional one. I get it. It's hard. So that's why I'm bringing this up. Mental well-being. But we need to, we need to be strong. We need to have resilience, coping with stress and rejection. Understanding it. Job seekers commonly experience stress and rejection, making it essential to understand these feelings and their impact on their mental health. People have literally given up. But again, with the guidance and support of a mentor and a coach, we can hopefully work with you that you don't get to this point, right? Health coping mechanisms. People have, talked about exercise, meditation, support networks, which is, again, what we are doing here at MP Consult. We're a community. People ask questions. People respond. People share experiences, right? People share perspectives. You might be doing something that somebody has done before, and that's why I usually tell people, there's nothing you want to do that somebody somewhere has not done before. But it seems like most of us from the African continent or the third world in general, we always have this principle of, when I arrive, I will show myself to people. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? When you arrive for what? What are you going to arrive at that nobody has arrived at before you? There's nothing new under the sun. Why don't you talk to people before you go and do that thing you are thinking of doing, rather than you do it, it fails, and then you now come and start complaining that, oh, after doing, no. I tell people, I think it's a mindset of people from third world countries. And we have our reasons for doing that. But it's not right. I'd rather do my due diligence up front. A motivational speaker once said, he said, yes, he agrees with experience is the best teacher. But he said he has a better version of that statement. He said the experience of others is the best teacher. You don't have to experience fatality or experience disappointment, experience failure, experience rejection, and you now say, oh, it's experience. No. If only you have a proper support network and you're about to do something that is not going to yield the desired results, most likely somebody is around you. Everybody say we are 3-4 people to any other human being on the globe. I didn't say that. We are literally 3 or 4 people. If we want to connect between you and a political figure right now, I can assure you maybe maximum 5 or 6, you have a connection to that person. So let's do that as we go. Processing emotions. Are you even keeping track of the applications you are making? I tell people, so somebody calls me up after I made an application 6 months ago, and then I'm looking for the resume that I used to apply for the job. Has that happened to you? Can anybody relate? Why? Because you don't even keep a track. And then you now go to the website, you want to go and see the JD that has been closed, pulled down. You don't even have the job description anymore. So you're going into an interview, you're flying blind. You don't know the resume you used to apply. you don't have the JD anymore. And that's why when you come to me for interview prep, I would surely ask you for those two things. Where is the resume you used to apply? Because that is critical. Because that's the resume they have. I need to understand, what did you tell them you know how to do? Because I don't want to look stupid as well. And then I want to see the JD. So always keep those documents offline, because they can be pulled down at any point in time. Okay. Building resilience and maintaining motivation. Resilience is being strong. Adapt positively to challenges and setbacks. Setbacks are just setbacks. Setbacks are prerequisite to comebacks. Without setbacks, there are no comebacks. Right? Stay motivated, which is hard. That's why we all need each other. Right? Because we need to keep moving. Focusing on goals. Staying focused and maintaining a sense of direction throughout your job search. Finally, Canadian focus, and this is not on my slide. Canada currently is sitting at 6.6% unemployment rate. 6.6% unemployment rate. Higher than the US. US is sitting at 4.1%. And that's why they are happy, because of the new administration. The growing number of ghost jobs is frustrating candidates. There's a mismatch, like somebody had mentioned, between the skills employers require and what the job seekers possess, partly due to evolving digital and AI technologies. Remember what I said? You are doing your resume with AI. They are doing the job description with AI as well. So both of you are not being honest and transparent, right? And some sectors are having more tighter job opportunities than others, right? Some are performing well, some are not performing well. Like right now, everybody is talking AI. I'm not going to stay here and tell you where AI is going, but it does no harm to have a theoretical knowledge of AI. It does no harm. I'm just saying. Now, finally, again on this AI, and I'll end on this note. It is not AI that will replace the job. It is people that understand or can leverage AI that will replace those that can't. I end with that. Thank you. Comments, questions as we wrap this up? Hello? Hello? Are we there?
Here.
Thank you. Yeah, comments, questions as we begin to wrap this up. Thank you. Anyone? So, to be good to hear from you folks.
Hello, Gamai.
Chinwe. Yeah, hey, okay. Wow. My experienced cloud mentor.
So thank you so much. Like, I mean, there are lots of tips here that you have given that are very useful. And, like you said, it's a tough terrain out there. And yeah, building the resilience is very, very important in moving forward. So yeah, thank you so much.
I agree, and thanks so much. I was super excited when I saw you join the community. I was like, wow, I think I'm doing something right here.
Okay,
thank you
for sure. And I have a few people that I would also invite. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, okay, thank you, EMC, and thanks for joining. What I'm going to do in 2 weeks' time, the next session we're going to have, I'm going to now focus a little bit deep dive into what MB Consult can help you with specifically to help navigate everything we've talked here today. That's going to be the session in 2 weeks' time. And hopefully, we'll be able to partner with you to get you to where you need to get to. And again, like I said, a lot of us are doing good things, right things, but there are certain things beyond our control. But that shouldn't stop us, right? Keep pushing, be persistent, and just don't give up. Thank you. John.
Yeah, I think Yemisi had a question on the charts about how to join the mentorship class. Maybe you want to respond to that.
Thank you very much. So if you go on our website, let me see if I can bring that up. So if you go on our website, there's actually a 90-day personalized mentorship and coaching program that we do here. Just give me a sec to just bring something up. And so you can actually subscribe to that. What I'm doing now is that's a 90-day personalized. So that is actually for people who are already professionals and perhaps they are in a job already, or they are trying to transition, so that's for people like that. Oh, okay. So the website is down for maintenance right now. Somebody sent me a note this morning. We are current this weekend. We are actually upgrading the website, so you won't be able to access it right now. Apologies for that. Having said that, so there is that service that we have, which you can subscribe to, and just to kind of put your mind at rest. Yeah, Miss, I don't know. Have you joined our online community? Because that will be the starting point. If you do that, somebody can connect with you just to kind of, hear you out. I can give you a 15-minute discovery call. And with that, would exactly know what your needs are and be able to position you accurately for our offerings. John, please go ahead. John, you had your hand up. Okay, maybe ready to talk. Yeah, so let me see. Did you? So I'm asking if you can put that in the chat. Have you joined the community? Okay, old hand. Thank you, John. So if you have not joined the community, please join the community and you can tag me, right, in the WhatsApp group, and then somebody will connect with you. Thank you. Daniel, you had your hand up.
Yeah, I just want to, yes, thank God that you saw the mail for the website that was down. I just want to add that 22nd is when we are meeting again, on this platform. Again, every week, if you are on the WhatsApp group, at least we want you to participate because it's part of learning, answering questions, what you don't know, if you have any question, you can drop it on the group so that we can engage. So I just want to reiterate that, so that let us as a community help ourselves to grow. Like Oge rightly said, there are new things I've heard today that I have to go back to my own drawing board and see how I can fix those things. So it's a place for us to learn. So we should not forget that. Always just peep in and see what is going on in the other room. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Absolutely on point, Daniel.